Isabel had once been the prettiest girl in youth ministry. Back then, every guy prayed harder when she walked into the room, not because they wanted God, but because they wanted their thoughts to disappear. Beauty gave her something more powerful than attention. It gave her authority. No one questioned her cruelty. It came wrapped in soft voices, bless your hearts, and spiritual language that made every insult sound holy. Her words didn't just wound, they baptized the wound and called it love. But time has a way of leveling altars. Now she was older, 3 divorces behind her, a face reshaped by surgery, a life that no longer carried the gravity it once did. The men who once tripped over themselves to serve her no longer noticed her. The women who once feared her had stopped caring. She had crossed into a different category, invisible. And that's when the simps appeared. Not the obvious kind, not the flirtatious kind. These were the hovering ones, the ride offerers, the "I'll pray for you" men, the listeners who confused empathy with intimacy. They didn't want her body. They wanted to feel like good men, saviors, redeemers, men who suffered quietly and hoped someone would notice. And tonight, one name surfaced in her mind: Griffin. Back in youth ministry, Griffin had been the dorky one, the boy who laughed too late at jokes, the one who followed her around like a loyal puppy. She had even made him wear a collar once, not cruel enough for anyone to call out, just cruel enough to keep him small. The memory unsettled her. Why him? Why now? She turned back to cleaning the kitchen, wiping counters already clean, trying to drown the uneasiness in routine. The fryer hummed behind her, oil bubbling like something alive. Then a cup lifted off the shelf and smashed against the wall. She froze. Another cup lifted, another crash. This wasn't normal. "Get behind me, devil!" she shouted. Then she heard a whisper. "Remember?" "Griffin," she said, barely breathing. "Remember how you made me feel? That was a long time ago. We were kids." I can still hear the laughs. "Get over it. Are you dead? Why can't I see you?" A hand suddenly grabbed the back of her head. "I'm very much alive." Her face was shoved into the boiling fryer. The heat hit first, a violent wave, followed by a scream that barely sounded human. Oil erupted, metal hissed, skin burned. She thrashed wildly, clawing at the air, but the grip only tightened. Then suddenly, release. She collapsed onto the floor, gasping, sobbing, clutching her face. "Why? Why?" "Because a reckoning is coming, and you're the first fruit." A knife lifted from the counter, and in one clean motion, her throat was slit. Moments later, a CD slid into a player. Music filled the kitchen, and somewhere in the unseen darkness, Griffin listened quietly as he created his first masterpiece. Read Chapter 2. Link is in the description. And for full access to upcoming chapters, exclusive stories, and premium horror fiction, subscribe on Ream. Because some stories aren't just horror stories, they're warnings.